TV.com. Wow, so we are certainly worldwide bringing it into you here from the Ironman. Folks, don't forget 2 weeks we'll be live again for ATV Motocross. We hope that you join us then. At the ATV Stampede, we'll be live next Saturday and Sunday for the Limestone 100 GNCC. Right now we got 70 shifter action on the track, 6 to 11-year-olds. Mason Jackson back at it once again, the number 5. Also got Dayton Hunt, the 31 of Evan Osborne. I think that is. My paperwork is a little messed up. We got Justin McDaniel out there with us. I believe Ian Juga's in this one. Jeremiah Newton and Mason Miller. Can't read the numbers, but we'll know those soon enough. Well, right now, race number 24 on the racetrack. Race 25, the WMX are coming up, led out by WMX champion 3 times over, the number 1 of Megan Shepard, who will, you might know her as Megan Manchak from years past. She got married in the offseason. She's also been a top GNCC WXC racer and has actually landed on the podium in recent races. So she's really starting to find her woods legs as much as her moto track legs. But man, Mason Jackson stretching his out there today. A 4.8 second lead over Ian Juka. Whoa, Juka in that second place position right off the bat. This might be an opportunity for him to actually move into position and challenge Mason Jackson for that number 1 spot. We've seen him in that position before. We'll see what happens here now. The 7X of Dayton Hunt back in the number 3 spot. Race number 24 on the racetrack at 70 shifter class, 6 to 11-year-old riders, and Jeremiah Newton in the number 4 spot. Mason Miller, the 888, in the number 5 spot. And there's Justice McDaniel, the 66, as he's your 6th place ride. That on screen is the number 5 of Mason Jackson. And he's looking untouchable here today in Indiana. Looks like he's got a 0 on that. Might be for some local racing. It might be a bullseye right there too, but that should be on his rear number plate if that's the case. Don't you think? Joined in the house now by Moto Mike Brown, as he is the voice of Wildcat Creek Motocross and the voice of Indiana as far as I'm concerned. Welcome to the program here today, Mike. I know you got to enjoy some great racing leading up to our TV broadcast this morning at 11.
Most definitely. We got a few of the amateurs off early, and then we were able to switch into the pros. I would have been here a few minutes early, but we had to get my heart rate down from that race. That was crazy.
That was. We got had a couple of good crazy battles today, and whoa!
Trouble for the leader.
Mason Jackson getting that little kicker, and we don't normally see that, but that thing kicked right over, and look at this. He had a 4.8 second lead at the end of lap 1 as we near lap 2 completion. Now comes second place. Ian Juka capitalizing now aboard the number 71, and now Mason Jackson fires it back up. Man, that kid, talk about the resilience of these little guys, man. He bounced right back up. He could not get back on that quad fast enough.
No, that quad was on its side, and he used every bit of energy to get it back on 4 wheels, refired, and now he's rolling in second place.
Well, here we go, heading toward the finish line for the conclusion of lap number 2 now in the 70 shifter 6 to 11 class. Jackson actually now Juka, then Jackson in the number 2 spot. Juka will get credit for the fastest lap there at a 2:35.242. Mason Jackson's lap time to a 2:42 that time. So I gotta wonder what Jackson's going to do. I imagine the adrenaline is flowing pretty good about right here, right now. Dayton Hunt checking in the 7X. Jeremiah Newton and Mason Miller in 4th and 5th.
Well, you take a 5-second lead, add 7 seconds to it, because he was on the ground, and now he's 7 seconds behind.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
We'll see what he can do with 2 laps to go.
Well, I imagine he's going to make it very interesting, Mike Brown. I can promise you that, as we see our leader, Stuka, going on the trying the uphill triple. He tried to get that double. Come close. These little 70 shifter machines, they got some horsepower, but they also got some weight to them.
Yeah,
so
he got 7/8 of that jump, so
that's pretty good for a 70 shifter, I think, at this point. Look at this. They're pulling up side by side, folks. If you're not down at the race fence right now, you should be, because we've got a battle going on, and Ian Juka is leading it right now. Mason Jackson. Oh, Mason Jackson threading that needle. Looked like he was going to follow him around that turn, and then all of a sudden he darted right to the inside.
He took the inside line and the lead.
Yes, he did, and this right here is a great opportunity, golden opportunity for Ian Juka. He was laying back there in an earlier moto, laying back here in this moto, not really seeing what lines and what intensity the number 5 is racing at. So this is a great opportunity for him to witness that firsthand and maybe be able to apply it not only in later today's racing or tomorrow's Moto 2, but in the future of racing, and really step up to the occasion, making the 70 shifter class even more interesting.
Right, he'll be able to figure it out. You know, first moto, second, it's good as a win. So he'll go back, regroup, and see what he can do.
You know, people say that, but I know the heart of a competitor will tell you that may be the best. That may be a way that you can still win the overall race, but nobody wants to come up short.
Well, usually it's the guy in second
that says that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the first place guy says, I got a 1 now. I got to do this, get back out there and make it happen again.
Yeah, there we go. Mason out there in the lead. They should be, and that confirms it. We're getting a white flag right now. So they're on their final lap. Race 25 already in the books. One more lap to go for this. Our 70cc competitors getting the track warmed up for the next round of pro competition coming up right around the 2 o'clock hour. 4 o'clock. It's all this math.
Yeah, a lot of numbers, a lot of times. I had to scratch my head. I thought time qualifying was at 11 this morning at first time qualifying. It's actually at 10, I guess.
Well, 11 was printed, but we had to make a change. So 10 o'clock, all the competitors knew it. They were down there, good to go.
I think that might be a change we'll probably see that will be consistent throughout the year. We'll know when we go to High Point for sure, though. But I'm thinking they ran a little bit early down there a couple of weeks ago at Muddy Creek also. Man, look at that thing. That machine is bouncing all over the place. Looks like the speeds are starting to come back out. You can see the track is starting to get rough. Well, those kickers, those are braking bumps and acceleration bumps developed by the big bikes out there. And you can see that they are getting rougher as the track goes, or as the day goes on and this race goes on. And Mason Jackson is putting his suspension to work. You wonder if suspension is crucial and critical for these little guys? Oh, yeah.
I'd put it at the top of the list.
Yep.
And those aren't braking bumps. They're racing bumps. I was educated earlier.
Oh,
yeah.
Racing
not kickers, racing bumps.
And who educated you?
The man himself, Jeff.
Okay. Acceleration bumps and braking bumps, I still go with that. But we'll call them racing bumps for JR.
There we go.
It's easier. But nonetheless, Mason Jackson, Ian Juka, Dayton Hunt, Jeremiah Newton, and Justin McDaniel. And he's right, those are racing bumps, man. I mean, they turn into racing bumps, especially for these little guys.
That is correct. Hey, we looked at the radar. I think we're looking good for this second Pro Moto.
Oh, that's good, but won't see any big tires out there this time, I don't think.
No, sir.
Well, Chad Whelan almost was regretting that one, man. He said it worked great on the start, but he said as that race wore on, it got harder and harder. I talked to him there before we did the actual podium itself. As Mason Jackson does it, he goes down hard. He goes over the bars, literally.
Yes.
Does a handstand for the crowd.
Get the machine back on 4 wheels. Look at that.
Throws a tear off.
That's a tear off, just like a pro right after the race, and picks up the checkered flag. That was race 24, 70 shifter.
Ian Juka checking in on the number 2 spot aboard the 71. Dayton Hunt.